and pretty much dominating everything else he's been in as well. Only falling in, I think, a few pretty crazy upsets to some maybe not as known players in WCS, but man, he has looked unstoppable today.
Yep, he did have that early dropout in the Taiwanese event, but after that he took a break of a week or two, and he just always comes back stronger than he was before. TaeJa is truly, the Roddy Soundboard, a force to be reckoned with. But so is Paul. It is going to be awesome. We saw guest first already. Nate, talk to us. Guest first, TVT. What does it mean?
Means we're going to have a very fast factory. We saw a lot of this in the Battlegrounds Online. TVT these days, it's all about the openers, these early pressure. The faster you can attack your opponent, the better. Polt, he didn't open gas first, but I guarantee you we're going to see a fast factory from him too. He's not going for Reapers. Already, Rick is just getting right up in his face, trying to attack the SCV, delay the factory. Every little bit counts. An incredible amount in this series, and Polt, he wants this victory more than anything in the world right now.
It looks silly, but a small thing like that does matter. And of course, guys, you can vote one more time, maybe a few more times. Go to RedBullBattlegrounds.com, and who would you like to see in DC, Nate? I truly don't know. TaeJa is a beautiful addition to any tournament, but on the other end, Polt, he really deserves it. He's been close so many times.
This is one of few times I can honestly say I will be incredibly happy with either one of these players. They are so good. Their results are incredible, and they're two of the most likable guys you're going to meet in StarCraft. Definitely, we got to see a lot more of TaeJa's personality in the last year or so. And he's actually pretty good at BM and some of these other guys.
He's being funny. Of course, the video with Betrayers was awesome. It seems like it's a very even poll. You guys, just like us, don't really know who would like to see a small advantage for TaeJa. I'm with you, Nate. I really don't care either way. I just hope that we have a fantastic final today in Detroit. So we see this first Hellion from TaeJa marching across the map, or riding across the map. He is going to check the waters, take control of the Zelnaga Watchtower. Of course, if both players do the exact same thing, but Paul did it a little bit later, he should be alright because he's going to do it defensively. So he will have an extra unit or two. And in TVT, it's almost like PvP that every shot matters in this phase in the game. A Hellion getting a couple of volleys off before anything else can truly make the difference before the first real engagement.
Yeah, it all comes down to positioning in a lot of these fights. You have Marines, which with a medevac, one Hellion can't even kill him, but TaeJa's already getting a nice pickup. You said it. If Polt's going to be the defending player, well, he's going to need every possible unit he can get back home. This Hellion should be able to escape.
I'm not sure because he's going to have to go up the ramp. So if TaeJa moves his Hellions properly, he should be able to get the shot off.
Great
Yes, he does. So first blood, even though I'm not sure if Hellions bleed, but in a weird way it was. Polt is still going to pick up his Marines. He's going to move out. TaeJa's most likely trying to do the same thing. Polt, are you sure about this?
This is going to get really awkward. Medevac's moving over. He's going to drop on the ramp. There are just two Hellions, and there's three at the bottom for TaeJa. He can elevator these bad boys in too. Now Polt still crossing the map. There's only a single Viking on the way and a command center. Both of these guys could actually wreck each other's economy.
Yeah, I'm still worried though, because Polt, of course, already lost that one Hellion, and TaeJa's attacking faster, which means less units most likely to defend. So far, Polt is doing an okay job, but I think he's going to lose his Hellions regardless, and he's going to lose a lot of SCVs, of course. Let's take a look at the Marines on the other side of the map.
There's only one Viking in the base of TaeJa. SCV's already being pulled. A Hellion finishes up, but Polt gets right on top of the Liquid Terran players' SCVs. Of course, the Hellions and the Marines are still doing work back at Polt's base. Viking going ham. And I have to say, TVT has become this super early slugfest, Roddy.
Yeah, a lot of SCVs dying on either side. Actually, TaeJa has lost more SCVs so far than Polt did. And Polt still has his Marines alive. If he can pick up that Hellion, no, he can't. Two Vikings is a little too much to deal with. Who would have ever thought that Viking would be the best early defense unit?
I mean, those hit points, you can repair it, makes it a very strong choice. Finally, the units have been cleared out of each other's bases, and
unbelievable.
This is TVT.
Yep, 14 SCVs have died on either side, and 28 and 27 units have fallen. The only difference being that Hellion, I guess, early on. Man, that went better for Polt than I expected, Nate, because he started dropping so much later that you would have normally expected TaeJa to have an extra unit and be a little bit better prepared for that, and to be able to do a little more damage in the main base of Polt, but that wasn't the case at all.
No. It was not. I think this is very interesting where he wants to go with this follow-up, because these Vikings, he knows he's got a little bit of air superiority because he didn't get that second one out quite as fast. I don't think there's too much that either player should be able to do to each other, but this follow-up medevac, TaZa really wants to keep the pressure on.
He might be able to pick up that Viking. Yes, he does. That is massive for Polt, getting a Viking kill. Vikings, of course, pretty expensive units, and also units that are very, very useful throughout the entirety of this game. Not just early on, but every time, every single time, against medevacs, and of course later on for tank vision as well. Vikings are always useful.
Yeah, so interesting. We're starting to see a little bit of a divergence in the build orders. TaZa's going back into Marines a little bit more quickly than Polt. Polt still wants to get at a few extra Hellions because TaZa's putting its pressure on the natural. Picks off an SCV or two. Every worker at this stage of the game counts because of how many both players have lost. It's still about 22 to 23. The Vikings land. And TaZa, he's getting a Banshee. He's getting Cloak. So
which is surprising considering the high
to,
Viking count.
Yeah, he wants to try to just move into a place where Polt might think, hey, I have Vikings, I shouldn't, why would he go Banshees and then suddenly doesn't have a missile turret? And if Polt doesn't have a scan because he's lost so many SCVs, things get tricky.
Polt just scans the main base, and that might have told him something, but this is worrying as well because his engineering base is not done yet, and he has to make damn sure that he doesn't drop a mule now because he's going to need these scans. Are all the Vikings out of position as well? Are those the Vikings in? Oh, Polt. Okay, this Banshee from TaZa now that's idling in the right bottom side of this map could potentially do quite a bit of damage. We see 2 missile turrets on the way, but they ain't done yet, Nate.
That's right. The Banshee should be able to pick up the SCV, building them, and quite a few more. Polt's whole army is on the right side of the map. He lands his Vikings. There's a single bunker. So Polt's advantage is Marines, but this Banshee's going to get some work done. Missile turret will finish, but not after this Banshee secures 6 kills. He's attacking the bunker. He has a lot of Marines. The medevac's healing them. Once this bunker falls, there's really not a lot here for TaZa. At the very least, not in his natural. The Marines are at the top of the ramp, but I think Polt's army is just stronger at the moment.
Yeah, at least at the bottom of the ramp. Maybe not at the top of the ramp. Polt getting a couple of good shots off, but still, here comes TaZa, and TaZa has a tank though. Look at that orbital, by the way. It's very low in HP. Good Hellion shots by Polt.
This siege tank not being able to attack those armored units.
Are you kidding me, Nate?
Are going to work. He picks them up, but this command center is as good as dead, Rotterdam.
Yeah, the Vikings are the absolute, the real MVPs of this game. Look at the orbital. It's going to
low,
oh my God, it's not going
he
to fall. It is
gets
going to fall.
on one base. The Banshee's still wreaking havoc in Polt's main, killing 13 units so far.
But he lost the orbital, these Vikings.
Oh my goodness, he has so many scans too. Polt immediately picks off that Banshee as soon as he realizes what's going on. There's 2 more Banshees out on the map with this many Vikings and with so much energy saved up. All TaZa can really do is send his tanks across the map and pray, but now Polt has a tank.
These Vikings can almost just land and fight that tank. These Vikings are the absolute real MVPs of this game.
Yeah, picks up another Banshee, and I mean, TaZa's just going to come pick off a few more workers, but as long as this tank stands, that's really the anchor in the line for Polt as far as holding on to his natural goes. And TaZa, I'm really not sure what he's going to try to pull here. Maybe move to the right side, but he's playing with fire.
He is rebuilding his command center, so he's not doing something super crazy. He's going to try to make it work, but he doesn't have air superiority, so every single time Polt is moving his tanks, TaZa will have to scan. This is just not something that's going to work out for him in the long haul, and he knows it.
Yeah. Lands those Vikings. Of course, trying to use the positioning here. The Banshee's going to move in on the left side, trying to flank the tank.
Oh, if he could pick up the tank,
Marines.
that would be awesome. But there are so many Vikings, so every scan is a guaranteed kill.
Yeah, Polt has another scan available. He uses it, picks off that Banshee.
I think if he lands 6 Vikings, he's going to kill 2 tanks and 4 Marines, probably, right?
He's still building Banshees. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. I want to see it, Vikings. Did you do the... You have been the real MVPs? The reinforcements have arrived.
Yeah, reinforcements are nice. I like this. He could try to just move up on the top. I mean, he could drop the Vikings and those medevacs, but yeah, this tank position should not be attackable. And Polt is going to be able to get this force off of his lawn quite easily.
Do you think he's going to chase it down? He probably will, right? The reinforcements are so far away. He has a couple of Marines here as well. He's landing the Vikings
he
again.
The Vikings, another Banshee. But the missile turret's still here. There's still his bunker, still some Marines. This really should not be too vulnerable for Polt. And I like Polt's position all this whole game, but now TaZa's reestablished his natural. He has killed 31 SCVs this game versus the 21 that Polt has killed.
But he just lost those 2 tanks. He's down 17 supply. There are still all these Vikings on the map that are so useful. Look at these reinforcements, or this army from Polt is going to intercept those units that were trying to make their way home. Now TaZa's bringing in his reinforcements. This has been the most action-packed TVT I've seen in a while. Beautiful pickup there by Polt. Oh, he does it again. Polt's on fire.
Yeah, Polt making some smooth moves here. Tasia just wants to hold on. He has an infrastructure advantage as far as the number of barracks go, but he doesn't have the units out that he needs to stop this attack.
No, look at the Vikings. They have been the MVPs, like I said, pushing out so much damage. All these SCVs will forward just like that. Polt is going to win game number 1.
2 games away from finally clinching that spot at Battlegrounds DC. He's fought so hard for it, but it is not over yet, Roddy.
Now, what an explosive TVT, Nate. 16 minutes of pretty much non-stop action. I really love one of the tweets we had during the game, but there was too much action to talk about it. But someone tweeted in Tasia and Polt giving new definition to the fact of a mirror match. Well, that's what it was.
Yeah, Terran versus Terran has become so much about these explosive openings, and when you have 2 players that are this good, you don't have that opportunity to just deflect the attack and then force a late game. And even though the game goes 16 minutes, it feels like you're just watching, a bunch of different fights that could have happened in the first 10 minutes.
I thought this second push by Polt was so cool. How often do you see 4 Vikings marching into the natural? Look at these Vikings. They're just going ham.
Man, those Vikings have a lot of range. They do a lot more damage than people give them credit for. They're pretty damn good in TVT.
These Vikings are the ultimate basketball players. They gave the alley-oop on the kill of the Orbital, and they finished it off themselves as well.
Yeah.
Next level.
They like shot it, almost missed, and then just jumped up and dunked it in anyway.
Yep. And look at the Hellion shots from this side. Polt really excellent movement on his Hellions. He picked up so many units as he got so much splash damage done. That was a nice save on the tank by Tasia, but in the end it didn't matter. And then these Vikings picking up this Orbital, that was almost game ending, or maybe it is game ending.
Yeah, that gives you such a huge advantage. The only thing, it's like you want the scans, and even though Polt had the extra base, Tasia, if he could have taken a few better engagements somehow, maybe the fact that Polt can't actually use his command center for mules kind of helps him, but still, the double SCV production, you're right, he had that lead all game long. And we are loaded in to map number 2 of our grand finals here at Red Bull Battlegrounds Detroit. Spawning in the bottom position as the Red Seraph player from Team Liquid. He needs 3 wins. He is Tasia!
Tasia going up against the Terran player that wants to go to DC, that wants to win a tournament again, and he looked great in game 1. Give it up for Polt.
Merry-go-round. You know what I would say, Roddy?
No.
This is a great map for Gas First.
Isn't every map a great map for Gas First in your book, Nate?
Yeah, well, I would say that. Except Whirlwind. Man, miss that map a lot. But, the thing is, a lot of these maps, because you have so much space around the main base. Like, we just look, if you just zoom all the way out on the main, there are so many different areas that you don't have vision of at the start of the game where you can drop Hellions, where you can drop those Marines, and Overgrowth is... Even though there's not as much space, it's so small that you can get across the map very quickly, and that's one of the things that makes it a lot more difficult than the old days where you either had a lot of rush distance or you had not enough space that you could dodge bunkers or Raven auto turrets. It really does allow whoever can be the most flexible with their control over their early Marines and Hellions to get an advantage every time.
I must say, I'm still blown away by the incredible courage that Polt showed to just, after losing that one Hellion already, and you said it, every single unit is so incredibly damn important early game, he still picked up those 7 Marines and he flew across the map, even though Tasia was about to attack his main base and he had like almost nothing. I can't believe he made that call. That was an incredible call by Polt, and somehow it turned out all right.
Yeah, Polt had a lot of forces out on the map, and definitely worked out well for him. Both players this game have gone Gas First, so we're going to see potentially, again, that very heavy aggression. A lot of things come down to where they want to go. This is one of the most versatile openers in StarCraft 2 in general. You can go straight to that Hellion play again. You can go right up to Banshees. You can go quick siege tanks. You can pretty much do whatever. We've seen players even fast expand out of this. Now we have a Reaper from Tasia.
Yeah, you've mentioned this a lot. This has become more and more popular because when you first see a Marine, then people don't really expect the Reaper anymore. And then suddenly the Reaper will be able to get the scouting information that you normally not expect in this phase in the game. So, interesting switch up by Tasia.
Yeah, I mean, we've actually even seen this used for more than scouting. What was it? Kier versus Yoda in the Battlegrounds online finals. Yeah, and he actually just went Reaper Hellion, which it wasn't even a thing since before, when Reapers actually had, grenades instead of just pistols.
Starport on the way already for Polt. Tejas is of course a little bit delayed because he put some of his gas into this one happy little Reaper. I think it's just going to be this single Reaper for now. Tejas should be able to get a great scout off. I do believe that Tejas on 2 refineries and Polt is only on 1. So it could be a Cloak Banshee opening as well. Definitely, you know, never a wrong choice. But